Hi guys, this is Tim. Welcome to my channel, a place of knowledge and value. So today I want to share with you my thoughts about the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a book written by Robert Kiyosaki, and some of my key takeaways from the text. So before I get into the video, if you enjoy, remember to leave a like, comment any questions or feedback that you want to give below, and subscribe for more content. Okay, so yeah, I thought the book was really eye-opening. Robert's attitude towards investing was very eye-opening, and yeah, he's got some great advice and some great knowledge in this book, so I definitely recommend it. So I want to talk about a few of the personal takeaways that I took from the book itself, and yeah, let's get into it. So the first is Robert's approach to assets. So Robert talks about the fact that an asset is not just your net worth, so how much stuff you own, but he talks about the fact that, or he defines wealth as the amount of time you can live without a job or something like that. So how long can you last without any income? So yeah, Robert defines an asset as something that generates cash. So it's not just something that sits on your balance sheet, but instead it's something that actually generates wealth. That's really forward thinking, I think, because in the real life, if I've got a whole bunch of cameras, how much wealth are they going to really generate for me? But if I have an asset, for example, a business, and if I train someone up to run the business, then that's generating me income, and I'm not doing anything. Really, all I'm having to do is manage this person, make sure that they are meeting certain KPIs. But yeah, that is a great way to live your life. A lot of people are doing that these days. I think this book has really changed the generation and the thoughts of an entire 20, 30, 40 years of people. I think it's 20 years now. But yeah, this guy's really got a formula that's quite good. So yeah, that brings me on to my second point. So minding your own business. So instead of just going to work and receiving money and spending it all and incurring debt, Robert talks about how wealthy people, they instead of working for money, they make money work for them. So yeah, instead of being an employee, they have businesses or assets that generate more income, so they don't even have to do any work. So yeah, it's quite a high level book, to be honest. So instead of thinking of it as an employee, you mind your own business and boost your own cash flow, and then yeah, you might get properties or something which is going to increase the cash flow of your income, and basically you own an asset. That's a real asset, I think. So yeah, he also talks about reducing tax. So he talks about how the history of tax, and how originally the tax was a kind of, it wasn't a permanent thing. It was used to raise revenues for wars and more serious matters, and then it was implemented on the rich to kind of help grow society and investments, and then it moved on to the lower and middle classes. So basically Robert talks about how the rich don't do nothing, but they actually react to the taxes, and they try and minimize their taxes. So you can see this in businesses all over the world. So this guy's definitely onto something. He talks about corporations as well, how businesses use tax structures to make tax deductions and basically increase their income for not doing much at all. just setting up a tax structure with the accountant and claiming expenses as business activities. So he's basically taking educational conference business related trips to Hawaii and claim it all on tax. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, another thing that I liked about Robert's book was he talked about financial intelligence. So this is really cool. It's quite a cool idea. So I've been observing a lot of smart people recently, and they think of ways that are beyond the normal. They're kind of unconventional ideas, and that's what Robert talks about in terms of finance, making money. And he says that people should, one, learn about law, tax, management, and a few other things as a basic foundation of financial cash flow. But he also talks about creative wealth creation, and he talks about how money is just an illusion. So if you go to work and you work for money, it's kind of an illusion. In reality, wealth is created by agreements between people. So for thousands of years, people have been trading, and they've been trading gold, and they've been trading food, rocks, fish, whatever. So money, it's just something that comes by adding value to other people's lives. So Robert says that people should look for new ways to generate wealth and creative ways to create income. So that's really great, to think outside the box, to find other solutions that are not being extrapolated yet. That's great. I think that's great. That's really smart. So finding opportunities in markets that other people haven't explored. So that's great as well. This guy's definitely on the money. So what I mean by that is, what he means is find opportunities that people haven't actually tapped into yet, and then you'll see big growth. And then that brings on to my next point, his mental coaching. So he talks a lot about the mentality of investing and how people should think in regards to failure, and how they should address their fear and their kind of the fear of not paying the bills, and their fear of failure, and their kind of timidness and their lack of boldness. So at the start of the book, he says that people are controlled by self-doubt and fear, so they just go to their jobs and get paid, and they don't really have to think that much. But Robert coaches how the rich take bold moves. They go in big, and they make big investments, and they take risks. They're not sanitized investors. So they're not. They take risks. They go out on a limb, and instead of not knowing what they're doing, they evaluate the risk, and they push themselves to take opportunities that Robert says are everywhere. He says that opportunities are everywhere, but people just fail to see them. He says, he uses a quote by Warren Buffett, which is, it's not risky when you know what you're doing. So he talks about empirical analyzing the next step you're going to take, and investing with confidence after proper evaluation through financial intelligence. So he talks about learning from life, learning from the mistakes that you make. So rising quickly in the light of failure. Robert talks about one of the success factors in the life of an entrepreneur is their ability to get up after they fail. So how long does it take for them to learn from their mistakes that life brings to them and move on to the next situation? So he talks about that, and how how they learn from failure, and that rich people don't get destroyed, but they take risks, they fail, they learn from failure, and then they become greater. He says that failure is a predecessor for success. So that's quite interesting. And yeah, he talks about how we can choose what we put into our minds and what we see, what we listen to, the kind of thoughts that we have. So he says that we should always learn. He talks about how the rich dad valued learning and the poor dad valued a safe, secure job. So yeah, that's cool. And yeah, he talks about the Texans, people in Texas, how they boast about failing big. So the Alamo, it's a historical site, but he references that. And the rich dad, he always went in big time, and the Texans, when they failed, they could boast about their failure. It's not like they went broke over buying a petrol station or something small, or like they went broke over investing in a washing machine, but instead they boast about how, I went broke trying to buy $1 million worth of stocks. Yeah, no one can really put you down for that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and a lot of people have fear of investing, they have fear of risk, so they just stay in their little bubble and they don't really progress in their financial lives because of that. So he says that, self-doubt and should be eradicated, and boldness, people should move forward with boldness and conviction. And the people who have boldness are often the people that get ahead in life, because they take those opportunities, they take those risks, they don't second guess themselves, but they analyze and move forward with conviction. Yeah. So yeah, I think Robert's attitude in this book is, really good. Yeah, he talks about how he treats his life, how he constantly learns, and how he surrounds himself with good people, and how he keeps his assets under control. So yeah, I think this book is definitely worth a read. It's definitely something that's going to help you out. He's got an action-focused mindset, and he's pragmatic about his investing, and his willingness to share his experiences and his knowledge are I think it's very admirable. And yeah, it's definitely worth it if you're entering the world of personal finance. This is definitely a great place to start. If you are interested in buying the book, there's a Dymocks link below if you're in Australia, or there is a Amazon link as well if you're outside Australia, so check those out. Otherwise, I wish you a fantastic day. This has been another review by Tim. All the best.